Hi everyone, welcome. So happy to see you. How's everybody doing? I have had such a wonderful week. Thank everybody for joining. How's everybody's week going? Can't believe it's Wednesday already. Almost the full moon, which reminds me. After this live, I'll be doing a members only live, and we'll be going live. I do my full moon. I've changed it to we'll do it around the full moon. So the full moon is in 2 days. And I will be, because I can't do it then because I have work, but in 2 days I will be doing a live. Well, I have work during the day, but long story short, I can't do it on the full moon. So I'll be doing it today. So it's for members only. If you want to join later, hi everybody, welcome, 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 welcome. So after this, I'll be going live for members only. I do a reading, general reading. You can ask me any questions you want, and so forth. Okay, how's everybody doing? Let's look at the comment section. Hi, Hi, Brianne. How are you? Always so great to see you. Hello, Nolai Tara. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you very, very well. Um, Life is good. I'm very grateful. I had stomach issues over the weekend, but I was about to drink my hot water. So I've been drinking hot water throughout this. Basically, I got a stomach infection last year, and I was in hospital, and I had to run very strong antibiotics. So I had to stop eating certain things because they basically ate away at my lining, the antibiotics. So I had to introduce new foods into my diet, and I started eating oatmeal again, and I couldn't eat oatmeal because it was messing up my stomach. I didn't realize it was oatmeal, and then I realized it. So I'm on a lot better on the healing med. Hello, Holly. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you, Gwendolyn. How are you? Very nice to see you. Oh my gosh, the fireworks. As soon as I get on here, they start the fireworks outside. It's crazy. I live in a very like boho area. Um, I don't want to say where because I've had stalkers in the past. Not saying any of you will stalk me. I was just advised not to say where exactly where I live or that kind of stuff, not the neighborhood. So I live in a very boho type area where people can. I want to say they can do whatever they want, but people get away with a lot here. And sometimes people in the neighborhood just get up to all kinds of things. Not anything crazy, but just like dancing, partying, which I love. I love my neighborhood, but sometimes they can be very loud. Oh, you guys are greeting each other. I love that. Um, you've been tired, Gwendolyn. I'm so sorry to hear that. Do you have anemia? Oftentimes, I have anemia, so when I get tired, I know that I need to eat more iron. So maybe something to do with your diet. Oh, it could be, yeah, full moon. Oh, you haven't had energy for the last few days. I'm so sorry. Hope you get better. Okay, guys, let's start. We're going to start our first couple. We're doing famous exes again, as per usual. And one of my subscribers has made me a whole long list. I'm so grateful. So if you're a subscriber and you want to make a suggestion, subscriber or member, feel free to make a suggestion in the comment section. I will take them very well into consideration, especially members. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Ryan Reynolds and Alanis Morissette. I wasn't really into Alanis Morissette's music. I didn't even know that they dated. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention to Ryan Reynolds until Deadpool because I don't want to get too much into it, but somebody that I knew was working with him. So that's when I started to go, okay, and then people say he's really funny and stuff like that. So I never really paid attention to him. And also, I paid attention to him when Scarlett Johansson, married him. Because I've always, I used to be a huge, I wouldn't say huge actually, but I liked a lot of Scarlett Johansson's movie. I've seen almost every Scarlett Johansson movie, honestly. I think she's a wonderful actress. If not every, yeah, I think I've seen every Scarlett Johansson movie. Yeah. Brianna's like, wait, Ryan Reynolds dated Alanis Morissette. Yeah, I found that out recently with all the stuff that's come out. I was shocked too. So I haven't really paid attention to what happened in the relationship. So I'll be doing a reading about that. Just the energy, what happened, and where they are today. But something I wanted to note is that no shame at all. If you want to do plastic surgery, do plastic surgery. When I was a kid, I wanted to get my nose done. And my mother talked me out of it, but I was ready to get, because I grew up I went to private school where most people had plastic surgery, and I really wanted to get my nose done. So I didn't get my nose done. So no shade, but I don't have anything against plastic surgery. But Ryan Reynolds looks very different to how he used to look. It's like a different person, which is very interesting. Alanis Morissette still looks the same, but he looks like a different person. Um, yeah. So just wanted to know that. I didn't know they dated. Yeah, I found out the other day too. Um, through all of this discovery. So let's start. I'm going to use the Sacred Journey of the Bee Tarot. Got this on Etsy. I love it so much. First, let me actually read the charts. So just want to share the screen. So I did REYNOLDS. I've been doing REYNOLDS a lot recently. Just in light of everything. But his sun is in Scorpio, moon is in Scorpio, rising is in Virgo, and his Venus is in Sagittarius. Interesting. So this is my thing about Venus and Sagittarius. I'm not saying anything about Ryan Reynolds, or maybe I am. I just don't realize that I'm saying it. But a lot of Venus and Sagittarius are not the faithful type. And if they do commit to one person, they need to have their side pieces. I don't know if you guys know any Venus and Sagittarius, but I found that a lot of Venus and Sagittarius, which also Sun and Sagittarius can be like this too. But Venus and Sagittarius, they're not faithful, and if they are, in general, and if they are, they usually they're the kind of man, if they're a man, to have concubines on the side, and if they're a woman, they tend to like swing and stuff with their partners, which no judgment, but I'm just letting you know that that's usually the case from what I've seen. Okay, now let's move on to her chart. She just seems so sweet, ALANIS said. She seems like such a sweet, lovely soul. I get very good vibes from her. I don't know if you guys do, but I get very, very good vibes from her. Okay, let me add. She's a Gemini. That's probably why I like her so much. So her sun is in Gemini, moon is in Scorpio, rising in Leo, and Venus in Taurus. Lots of fixed energy. Interesting. I can see her sun. Sun and Gemini are often very good writers. They make very good songwriters, script writers, actors. They're very good at expressing themselves creatively, so I'm not surprised. Okay, so I'm going to pull up what happened between them. Her Venus in Taurus just means, to me, I get the energy from their Venus signs. If you know anything about attachment styles, something I learned, a huge lesson in last year, someone I was dealing with, is different styles of attachment, how we love, you know. And I learned in therapy last year that, I've learned it throughout the years, but last year was a huge lesson for me, that I need to be with somebody that securely loves. So somebody that reassures me, somebody that isn't playing games. I don't do well with mind games, stuff like that, people disappearing. And she's similar because of her Venus in Taurus, where she can be anxiously attached. So it's a long story short. I highly recommend the book Attached. It's phenomenal. It changed my life. But she, in a scenario with somebody who's in a relationship, when in a relationship with somebody, she overthinks the relationship. And if the person doesn't give back to her, she wants to prove that she's lovable to them, which I used to do a lot. So she needs to be with somebody that isn't playing games, but he's a game player. From his Venus sign, you can just see he plays games. And I can see the dynamic of their relationship being, when she needs him, he's not around. When he needs her, she's overly there, which is something I went through very recently. So I can relate, but I see that being very strongly. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but let's see what happens to Tara. But that's from the Venus side. I just get that very strongly, that he will make her stay up till late, worrying about him. He's always in some kind of drama, dealing with roommates, stuff like that. That's the energy that I get. Okay, so let's see what Tara says. Okay, so a lot of people have different ideas of what soulmate is, twin flame is. For me, I think if your twin flame, basically, your twin flame is somebody that can bring out the worst in you, or can make you evolve to become the best of you, the best version of yourself. So, especially with the Hierophant, I see her wanting stability, and he promised her that. And he said to her, he gave her like empty promises with Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. I can be this for you. I can be, and he just wasn't. She had to develop strength to move on. The card of Leo. It was a very tough relationship for her. Very tough. But it was almost to the point where I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. Even sociopathic, honestly. Just to be honest, because there's not that much of a difference between sociopaths and narcissists. But the main difference is that sociopaths intentionally hurt you. Narcissists don't hurt. They hurt you by proxy because they always think about themselves. You know, that's just. I'm not a psychologist or therapist. I'm just giving like a gist of what I've learned about it. So let's see how they are now. Oh, just dropped my card. Hold on. Okay. Oh my gosh. They are not in a good place. My cards keep falling. They're definitely not in a good place right now. I think he's trying to get her to come out public. I'm getting images and downloads. He's trying to get her to come out publicly and say that in support of him, but she's so moved on. She's so over it. Ace of Fire, which is the Ace of Wands. He wants her to declare that she still thinks fondly of him and that nothing bad happened, but she doesn't want to lie, you know, and she doesn't feel like she owes it to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to put out bad stories about her to get back at her. He's a very vengeful, oh my gosh. Sun and Scorpio men can be very vengeful. I've experienced it. If someone loves you, you should have to prove that you're lovable. 100%. The thing is, when you understand love styles, it's so fascinating because you know that rationally, right? You know that rationally, if someone loves you, you should have to prove to them. But it's subconsciously what we do. I don't want to tell you guys too much about this person because I'm kind of over it and over the situation, but I had to learn from a situation that I had done it subconsciously, where I would tell people, I'd be there for people a lot, extremely a lot. And I didn't realize that I was trying to prove who I was to them, you know? And it's our styles of attachment. And it's very deep. It goes very, very deep. And, you know, I don't want to shame people for how they love and how, you know, because it's just deep information that we can learn. Everything is a lesson. And I love Steve Jobs saying when he says, you can always connect the dot backwards. That's why when people give me unsolicited advice, I'm not like, oh, I'm so over it because it doesn't mean anything. You know, you have to live it. Experience is the best teacher, you know? And saying like regurgitated stuff really doesn't matter because unless you've gone through it, you don't know, you know? So yeah, so she went through it. So let's move on. If anybody has anything to say about this, but yeah, he's gonna try to get her to say something to prove her. To kind of, he's something else. He's a piece of work. Ryan Reynolds is a piece of work. Now another Sun in Scorpio. Leonardo DiCaprio and Blake Lively. Okay, so let me use the card to clarify. I want to put up the past. Actually, let me read the charts again. I've read both of the charts so many times, but I'll read it again because I want to remember the Venus. I think he's a Venus in Scorpio. The Venus is so important for these because it just reminds you, you know, how they love. Venus is so important. When you have a Venus sign that's incompatible, it plays a huge role in your compatibility in the relationship and how you love. That's what I love about birth charts. It can tell you so much. So, who was I doing again? Oh, yeah. It will start big lively. We'll start with the woman first. So, Sun in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, Rising in Leo, and Venus in Virgo. Interesting. I do remember this from last week. So basically, her love language is, and I'm not shading Virgos. A lot of people that are close to me are Virgos. I love Virgos. I love Virgos. But a lot of Virgos, they want to be a power couple with somebody, especially Venus and Virgos. They want to be seen as a power couple with someone, which would make sense why she stayed with Mr. Reynolds for so long. Even though this is very, what's the word I want to say? It might not be a popular opinion, but I don't think Ryan has been faithful to her from his Venus sign. I can just see that very strongly. And also from his past behavior, alleged past behavior. Okay, so now let's look at Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a sun in Scorpio, moon in Libra, rising in Libra, and Venus in Scorpio. I think I might have told you guys this. I met him a few times, I think 3 times, when I lived in New York, and he was dating Rihanna at the time. Rihanna's a year older than I am, so I was 23, I think. 23, 24. And I don't know how old he is. Let me see how old he is. Let's see. He's almost 50. I did not realize he's that. Okay, but age isn't really that big of a deal. I'm just shocked that he's still running around with a young woman, which is fine. Like, he can have a type, but I don't know. Am I being judgmental for saying that? I feel like if a man consistently dates women in their 20s, that's concerning, you know? If anyone who's older dates consistently people in their 20s, I think it's concerning. But me and Blake have our Pluto Scorpio. Yeah, so most, it's a generational thing. So millennials, most of us have our Plutos in Scorpio. And then Gen X's, most of them have the Pluto in, I think it's Sagittarius, because it goes backwards. And then Gen Z's, most of them have the Pluto in Libra. I think it goes like that. Let's see, because his is what? Pluto. Okay, no, it's the other way around. So they have this in Sagittarius. Gen Zers have it in Sagittarius. So it's a millennial type decade generational thing. Where every 12 to 13 years, which is around the same time as generations, because it's 13 to 15 years, I believe, it changes. So millennials, most of us have our Pluto in Scorpio. I don't know if you guys knew that. Just a little fun fact. Okay, so that's why a lot of us, we love like murder mysteries, stuff like that. If you give me a murder mystery, oh my gosh, I am obsessed. Since I was a kid, actually. I used to be obsessed with like Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie was my favorite author for many, many years. So when I was 16, I used to read, you know, I stopped going out sometime for like a year. And I used to just read Agatha Christie. I read almost every Agatha Christie book. Poirot was big for me. I loved Poirot. I've actually been thinking, I think I should read Agatha Christie again. I don't usually like fiction, but the only fiction I read is murder mystery. I love murder mystery. That's why a lot of us are into like true crime. It's a generational thing. Pluto and Scorpio is very indicative of that. Okay, So let's see what happened in their relationship. Okay, so a lot of it was for paparazzi, Night of Ones, to kind of prove that, hey, we're happy, the star to get attention. I wouldn't be surprised if they called the paparazzi the magician to get their careers. He was doing Django at the time, right? I think he was doing Django at that time. But there was a movie he was doing press for that he needed to be seen as like an American sweetheart type. To help him. So it was very PR based, their relationship. So let's see. And I get the image of a manager telling her like, go to Italy, go to here with him. And honestly, I say this all the time, but I did not get good vibes from Leonardo DiCaprio. And he actually asked somebody for my number, and I was like, I don't want to say who it was or the context because it was a long time ago, and I don't like to divulge that kind of info. And it, like I said, it was a long time ago. But I remember just not feeling it. Or maybe that person was lying when they told me that. That's a possibility too, that he wanted my number. So I just want to throw that out there. But he did give me the vibe that he wanted to get to know me better. But I wasn't really. I just got bad vibes. Like he was wearing a hoodie. The times that I saw him, he was wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, and it was at night. I'm like, why wearing a hoodie, sunglasses at night? It's that I don't know what. Call me old fashioned, but that gives me like drug dealer, drug dealer energy. So let's see what they are now. And he wasn't a bad guy, but then also, I don't want to give the full context of how. I just didn't hear good stories about him treating people, right? And I'm big on how you treat people is so big to me, especially people that are serving you, especially people that are your staff, especially people that help you with your daily life. It's so big to me how they say you treated them. And it's personal stories I heard, it's not the other people. So that was a huge turn off for me. But anyways, let's get into this. Where are they now? What happened? What's the energy? Okay. So I don't think it ended well. The Hermit, Four of Swords, and Nine of Swords. I think he was very mean to her and kind of made her feel. That's why that's how I think she ended up with Ryan. Because after she dealt with Leonardo, she felt. And I'm not. Can I tell you the energy I got from him when I met him was not good. The times that I did meet him, it was just not good. No, not good. And I didn't want to judge him because I felt as though he's had a rough life, you know. And I loved Titanic. Titanic was one of my favorite movies. But I just did not get a good vibe. And I didn't want to come across mean or anything. I just wanted to act like he didn't exist. And I was like, hope he doesn't see me. You know the situations where you're like, I just hope the person doesn't see me. I don't exist. Act like we never met. But yeah, and I'm not trying to say like he sounded like he was like really into me, but he just gave me creepy energy. I just got creepy vibes. And he was like hovering behind me, and I was like, can I help you? It was just weird. I don't know. So he seemed very disturbed, and like he'd been through life, you know, which makes sense. So I wanted to have compassion for him, but I'm gonna get by. Some people it's just very hard to have compassion for them. So I see how she ended up from going from that, because he probably treated her very badly. Very badly. And she decided to go with somebody who, at the time, really appreciated her. Because I see him just giving her the runaround, disappearing when he wants to, not being a nice guy at all. At all. Okay, so, but it's also generational thing. I feel like that generation, because I've dated, most of my exes are from that generation. One of my exes is about to be 50, and I cannot believe it at all. Not that it's bad, it's just like, whoa, cannot believe it. But I think that this whole Playboy thing was a big, they were influenced by people like George Clooney, you know, influenced by these forever bachelors that had many women along them. But it's a very lonely life when you go from woman to woman to woman, and you know that they only want to be with you because of their money, you know. And that's the energy I got from Leonardo. When I met him, he seemed lonely. Even though he had his entourage with him, the times I met him, he had at least 8 people with him, but he just had like an empty energy. And I was in a relationship at the time, so and even if I wasn't, I don't even think I would be interested, honestly, because he just seemed like a lot to handle, you know. And then I remember the story about him and Giselle and all of that. So, so let's do that now. Where are they now? Can I do that already? Sometimes I forget. Oh, sorry. Brianne says, because I'm thinking, I'm so deep in thought right now, because I'm having these memories. You know, sometimes I tell stories, and I cannot believe that happened. And then I have memories that I go back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe. I relive it in my mind, which is not very good, but I just relived that whole situation in my mind. Do you think you'll ever get married? Yes, I do. I actually do think Leonardo will get married. Similar to George Clooney, he's going to be around, which is fine, you know. My only thing is, how do you treat people along the way, you know? And at least George Clooney was upfront about it, that he was a bachelor and all that stuff. I just feel like they're not as sneaky about it. I think from what I saw when I met Leonardo, his energy, I got somebody that's very broken, a very broken person. And I don't like to divulge people's, you know, especially, I mean, we don't even come close to being in a relationship. I don't usually like to talk badly about people that I met because they deserve privacy. But the energy he gave me was lonely and broken and lost, very lost. Almost like there was no way back, you know? But yes, I do think he will get married. His Venus is in what again? Venus is in Scorpio, yeah. He will get married. He just has to heal from, I said this a long time ago when I did a reading about him. There was a relationship he was in when he was much younger that he didn't get over. A lot of Scorpios, especially Venus and Scorpios, they get hurt when they're younger and they don't get over it, and they keep trying to, they want to create dominance to forget about their past hurt. But, you know, Gandhi has the saying that I have to remind myself all the time: an eye for an eye leaves the world blind. So you can't just go out, if you feel wronged, you can't go out and just become vengeful yourself, you know? You really have to transform it and alchemize it into a lesson to move forward. A more learned and wise person. Otherwise, it's going to eat you up inside. And it's easier said than done. Trust me, especially for Scorpios and male Scorpios, because they struggle with forgiveness. We all do to an extent, but especially them. I was thinking the same thing. Wonder if he likes playing the playboy. He likes the power, and I think this is what happened. You know, I was doing a video and I actually forgot the point of the story that I was telling. And I remember what the point of the story was. So when I was a teenager, and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, I'm just telling the story because I learned a major lesson. So when I was, I think 13, I used to have a huge crush on this guy, right? And his name was Ben. I forgot his last name. And he looked like the guy from Angel. If you guys know Angel, David Boreanaz. I had such a crush on him. We used to talk every day. I used to call him on the phone, and he would call me. And one day I told him, I was like, okay, I must have the courage. And I decided to tell him that I had a crush on him. And he was like, I'm flattered. I just don't feel the same way. And my whole world, at the time, 13-year-old, my whole world just broke into pieces. I just remembered his last name. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want it to be public information. But my whole world just crumbled. That's because I had imagined us being together. And, I was like, why would he talk to me every day if he didn't like me? And that was a huge lesson to me that I had learned that you have to say how you feel. You have to get it off your chest. You feel that strongly about somebody. And I don't regret it, even though I was rejected, whatever that means. I said how I felt, and I had no hard feelings. I said to him, okay, that's it. I can't remember exactly what I did after that. It was 23 years ago. But I just remember learning a lesson that I have to say how I feel because then I know. So I'm telling this story because we can't look at life from a vengeful lens. When things happen to us, then we know. With information we're given, then we know. It doesn't mean we're the victim. It doesn't mean that something bad is happening to us. Sometimes it is, and we really have to make an effort to, and I'm not talking about anything physical, anything harmful, just life lessons that help us grow and evolve, so I just remember that story today. Yeah. Okay, so did I cover where they are now? Let's see, I'm gonna clarify. Yeah, so I see him hurting her. No, I didn't cover where they are now. But they want to act like friends. Ace of Cups, Three of Cups. I think she's wanted to tell him same thing. Man, Ryan at this time is very big on having exes speak out as opposed to support them. With the Tower at the bottom of the deck, there's a surprise. There's going to be like a surprise something. Some kind of collaboration, but it's their managers are organizing it or their publicists are organizing it because I think she has something on him that she's going to use against him to make him on her side publicly. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? She knows something about him that she's going to leverage to get something, to get his favor, his public favor, if that makes sense. It's funny because the movie A Simple Favor, I never watched it, but I've just been watching Another Simple Favor, the adverts, the commercials, and it seems like a very good movie. I don't want to watch it now because it's obviously Blake Lively thing. I like Anna Kendrick, but by stance, just out of loyalty to Justin Baldoni, I will not watch it. But how she operates is kind of like A Simple Favor, because in the movie she's meant to be this ruthless publicist type person, but seems like she's actually like that, especially after seeing this Leonardo depiction. She's just as ruthless as her character in the movie. Very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. So let's move on. If anybody has anything to say, let's move on to the last couple. And then I'll be doing the live for members only, the full moon live, full moon in Virgo. It's going to be a very interesting full moon, I must say. Okay, let's remove. Okay, let's put this on the stage. and we'll do Sam Asghari and Britney Spears. Does anybody watch Traitors? I've been so obsessed with that show. It's over. Such a cool show. Last week I started talking about it and I forgot my train of thought. I've been very forgetful lately because I've been working on a lot. But the premise of it, it's a reality show. It's a reality competition show. The premise of it is that you win. Oh, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. You win. Well, it was created in the Netherlands, but 22, right? Celebrities in the USA, celebrities, reality TV celebrities, go into a castle, Scottish castle, and in this castle, you have to pick out who the traitors are. So the host picks out 4 traitors, and the traitors every night will kill someone. Well, they don't really kill somebody, it's like a fake killing, but the person's exiled from the castle if they get killed. And in a nutshell, it's so fun, and you get banished. You have to pick out who the traitors are and then banish them. And at the end, if there's one traitor, that traitor takes all the money, or 2 traitors, the traitors take the money. If it's more than, if there are no traitors, then the faithfuls. So it's faithfuls versus traitors, and the faithfuls take all the money. So I don't want to give away who won this last season, but Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam Asghari, was in it. And it was nice to see his side, because I've always said this from the beginning. I've always said that I believe Sam Asghari is a good guy. I believe that he meant well for Britney. A huge reason why she got out of the conservatorship was because of Sam. And I've always, this is how I feel in general. I think when innocent and kind people are being negatively spoken about, same thing with Britney Spears. When she was going through her big situations in the early 2000s, I always defended her, because people are quick to judge and they don't really know the truth. They don't know how hard it is being a kid pop star growing up in the limelight. It seems like it's fun, but it comes with a lot of consequences. And so I've always defended her, and I defended Sam, because I just feel like the media and people can be vicious. So I stand by that, and I have done many videos about them, and it was just nice to see him in his fun element and not being painted as the villain that they tried to make him come across as. So it's my little spiel before I start the reading. So let me read the charts. So her sun is in Sagittarius. I didn't realize her moon is in Aquarius. Yes, I remember that. Her rising is Libra, and her Venus is in Capricorn. Interesting that her Venus is in Capricorn, basically my way or the highway, which seems kind of accurate. Very loyal. Capricorn, Venus and Capricorn are very, very loyal. Yeah, sometimes too much. Okay, so then let's see Sam Asghari. Venus and Capricorns are the type that they'll stay married for the rest of their lives. They marry their sweetheart, not with her, but in general that I've seen. They marry their high school sweetheart, and they stay married through thick and thin, no matter what that person does. And Venus and Cancers, those two. Okay, so Sun is in Pisces. Oh, that explains why he's so mature. Because his Sun is in Pisces. Moon is in Sagittarius. Can't find his rising, but his Venus is in Pisces. So this is not a good match. I was very accurate. One of my first videos I did was about them, and I said that they would end up together, they would end up married, and that she would get out of the conservatorship. And I'm glad she did. I'm really, really glad she did. Okay, so let's see, where are they now? If you want to learn about the past, check out my readings that I've done about them. I've done many, many readings about them. I've been 100% accurate about Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. So check it out. Okay, let's see. Where are they now? I'm using the Star Child Tarot for this, by the way. Love this deck. Ace of Swords. Oh, the Empress and Fire. Okay, so she had to cut him off for well-being. She had to cut him off for well-being, 5 Swords, but I don't see there being any animosity. Even though things got a little bad, but you know, the thing about him, he's a very humble man. I can see how, because I can't believe he's not even 30, he's 29. I thought he was in his early 40s. He's very mature. But he has too much, and you know, he is Persian, and I love Persian culture. Oh my gosh, my 2 favorite parts of LA when I lived in Los Angeles was 3 favorite parts. Was the Persian community, very humble, hardworking, kind people in general. I don't want to generalize, which is what I found. Very family oriented, Mexican culture, and also Korean culture. There's a lot of those communities there. I love being American. I'm not going to take away from that, but I also appreciate when people come to America with a very hard-working mentality, family-oriented. I feel like that's what makes this country a better place. I really, really do. So let's see. Clarify 5 of Swords, because it seems like she had to 8 of Cups. Okay, so she's doing a lot better now. I haven't really been following her on Instagram. I think she might be shadow banned because she never shows up in my posts. And I follow her. Or I'm just so involved in reality TV. They don't even pay attention. So 8 of Cups transformation and 3 of Wands. So they will at some point be on friendly terms again. It's kind of in their nature, you know. Both of the sun signs are ruled by Jupiter. Yeah. Pisces partially Jupiter, and Sagittarius is fully ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter energy is friendships, friendly, chivalry, taking the high road, being noble. And in their nobility, both of them are both going to get to the point where they're going to reach out to one another and be on friendly terms. Not friends, but be on friendly terms. She's always going to have a soft spot. And I understand why. He's a gentleman. I've always said that from him. And you know, things with divorce do get a little hairy. Every divorce goes through that. But I'm glad they came out in a humble and more respectful manner. Oh Lord, my Venus is a Capricorn. Brianna says, I want to get married to one person. If your Venus is a Capricorn, there's a strong chance you will. Very strong chance. My Venus is in Aquarius, and we need our freedom in relationships. We don't like to, and we have to be with people that are thought-provoking. I don't really get attracted. Looking back, I can see that I have a type. They're usually older than I am, like very manly. I'm not very manly, but debonair. It's usually what I like. I usually like debonair men, and just they look smart. A lot of Venus and Aquarius, their partners have to seem intellectual. That's usually what we go for, Venus and Aquarius. And in relationships too, we have to the person has to keep us thought provoked. Otherwise, we get bored, very bored. I like older men. Yeah, me too. I've dated younger guys and they don't do anything. Well, I can look at them and think they're attractive, but there's nothing there. Doesn't do anything for me. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for this lovely fun. It's always so fun. At this point, Brown, I might as well make you a moderator. Because you're always in our lives, and I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So grateful for the loyalty. Number one thing to me, which is also very Venus and Aquarius, is loyalty. Aquarius too, because I'm a triple Aquarius. Venus, Sun, and Moon. But loyalty is big. I really appreciate loyalty. You're welcome. Thank you, Gwendolyn says. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn. Same thing. You've been with me for with this community for a long time, for say 3 years now, right? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So thank you to all of you. I'm very, very grateful. After this, I'd say in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'll be back with a live just for members only. And we'll be talking about the full moon in Virgo that's about to take place. And I'll be doing a reading and we'll break down the different pros and cons of this full moon and what it might mean for you. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Brianna says, I hope that Brittany finds happiness. You know, the thing is, me too. But with her chart, I'm going to tell you this. With how her chart is, something I've had to do too, because I have a friend at work and we're talking about different sun signs and moon signs, and she was saying that she loves Aquarius, but Aquarius, we tend to be not present. And that's been my big thing. I've had to really, people told me that in the past and I had to take it in. That's why I meditate a lot. I do yoga to stay present. That's why it took me so long to get an Apple Watch, because I know I get distracted very easily. And even when I get when I get a text or something, I have to remind myself, don't look at your watch, don't look at your watch, don't look at your watch, you know. So with her chart being so much Sagittarius and so much Aquarius, she has trouble staying in the present and has trouble acknowledging the good in her life, because she always wants to be ahead, always wants to jump ahead, jump ahead. And it helps her succeed because it makes her hardworking, but it also stops her from being able to live in the moment and just be and acknowledge that who she is enough to be in a healthy relationship. So I think that's her biggest struggle, is feeling worthy enough to be in a healthy relationship. And it's very real, you know. I was listening to Lizzo's song because I do these dance workouts and they have themes. It's so fun. And I was doing one to Doja Cat and Lizzo. And the song by Lizzo came on. Came on. Am I ready? And it's the first time I probably listened to Lizzo's music, because I never used to like all her antics and stuff. And I actually do like her music. Her personality, I don't really like, but I love her music. She's so talented. And or what I know of her personality. And when I heard the lyrics, Am I Ready to Be Loved? It's such a real thing, you know? Especially when you're in a healthy relationship, to not sabotage it, to be open enough for the other person to receive you, to be open enough not for the other person to reject you. And if you are rejected, well, you see that as redirection and not failure, you know? And to just know that it was meant to be if you are rejected. So it's a constant question, like, are you ready? Are you ready for what's your best life? And I had to realize, sometimes I still do it, where I don't feel ready enough to receive the best and to be open to abundance. So I block it, you know, and I think we all do it to an extent. But it's so real. It's like, am I ready? Am I ready? If my ideal life or my ideal partner was to come today, would I be ready? You know? And it's scary. It's like, oh my gosh, would I be ready? Am I ready? And we have to ask ourselves, are we ready? You know, are we ready to be open? Are we ready to live? Are we ready to love? So I just went on a tangent. But it's what I've been thinking about a lot lately since hearing that song. I'm like, am I ready? You know, because I'm very happy being single. But if my person showed up today, would I be ready? And I don't know the answer to that, honestly. I had a great time. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did a great time. Me too. I just want my energy back. But I'm so sorry, Gwendolyn. I'm sending you all the healing vibes. Lots of love to you, honestly. And yeah, I know it's not easy. Health issues suck. So I send you so much love going on, and I wish you a speedy recovery. Lots of love your way. Yeah, that's what I have for you. Okay, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. In 5 minutes, also, I will start the reading for members only. Please stay tuned if you're a member. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Take care.